You know, when you start out doing a podcast, well, I only got 10 downloads. Well, that's how it works. Brian and I were first doing this podcast, and we were doing it on like Ustream. We would have 200 viewers. I wasn't doing it for money. I was literally doing it because my wife had gotten pregnant. We had to move from Colorado back to LA, and I was bummed out. I was living in the mountains. I was like, this is what I want. I want to be in nature. All right, let's do something. And so we started doing podcasts just for a goof because I was doing stand-up. That was all well and good. I didn't start out thinking this is going to replace my income. This is going to be, I just did it as a passion project. And I think if people have a regular day job, if you could just find one thing that you do as a passion project and just keep building on it.
Your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. Your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. Think about every poor decision you've made in your life.
Gosh.
There was more emotion that was involved in it than there was mind. Every single one of them. Think about it.
Really was.
Your feelings keep you in bed. Your mind tells you, get up. Think about it. Every single day, your mind is the one that tells you, get up. And your feelings like, an extra 30 minutes, just roll this. Don't worry about it. Well,
7 billion people need to change the conversation of what success looks like. It is not to make $1 billion. It is to actually wake up in the morning and be in a good mood.
If you're poor, you'll always be poor.
That's really hard for people to understand.
Yeah, the money will disappear that fast. Just like most pro athletes, they make millions of dollars, and 65% are bankrupt 5 years later. It's because they come from poor families. Now you tell them that, they get very angry at you. It's not, it's the rich fault. It's you guys ripped me off, and government ripped me off. But unfortunately, what Mr. Lipton was saying, it's passed down genetically.
If I give you one message to hold in your hearts today, it's this: never, ever give up. There'll be times in your life you'll want to quit, you'll want to go home. You'll want to go home perhaps to that wonderful mother that's sitting back there watching you and say, Mom, I can't do it. I can't do it. Just never quit. Go back home and tell Mom, Dad, I can do it. I can do it. I will do it. You're going to be successful. I've seen so many brilliant people. They gave up in life. They were totally brilliant. They were top of their class. They were the best students. They were the best of everything. They gave up. I've seen others who really didn't have that talent or that ability, and they're among the most successful people today in the world because they never quit and they never gave up. So just remember that. Never stop fighting for what you believe in and for the people who care about you.
How do you make $1 million? You can sell something for $100 to 10,000 people. You can sell something for $1,000 to 1,000 people, or you can sell something for $10,000 to 100 people. Which one is easier? What do you think?
Yeah, I'd say work for yourself. I would rather have $100,000 a year
and own that
and freedom,
right?
And freedom, because I like freedom, dude.
Yeah.
Than $500,000 a year, and I have to ask Mr. Luna if I can take next week off.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Luna, my wife's having a baby, and I was hoping I could take 10 days off, and you say, we need you.
Exactly.
Tell your wife to fuck off, and let's get to work.
Yeah. No.
Dude, I can't stand that. That's worth, to me, more than money.
No, it's true. And I mean, and hopefully you're going to make more than $100,000 with your own business.
I know, but I'm just using it because there's a lot of people struggling. $100,000 is actually kind of generous. There's people out there freaking barely making ends meet, and they're like, maybe I should just get a job. It's like, no.
Yeah.
You're not valuing the freedom. The freedom is valuable if you value it. If you don't value it, if you don't value your freedom, well then, dude, think about getting a job. It's okay to work for somebody.
Oh, dude, I mean, I started my business when I was working for someone else. I mean, the best time to start a business is when you have a job, right? Especially now digitally. Shit, on my VT, I'm working at night. I'm working on weekends. I'm working whatever around. It's not what I do full time, obviously. I'm working 50 hours in my real job. Then I'm working when I can on this. But it's not bad. I mean, I launched it, and in 5 weeks, I think I generated a couple $100,000.
Yeah, dude,
so
you haven't even got started yet.
Not
when,
bad.
when it's all said and done, I guarantee you'll never, ever have an investment better than your VT.
That's what you told me.
Watch.
How old are you? 18. You can literally do nothing for the next 8 years and be a child. But you don't think that. Because when you're 22, you don't think 31 is young. But it is. Whether it's your parents or yourself or people, everybody's trying to prove something so early. And too many kids don't take advantage of time. You can literally do 4 different things over the next 2 years, 6 months at a time to figure out everything that you think you might like, you should try to do. But that's not what people tell you to do.
People can't get up in the morning and they can't get out of bed. I'm going to tell you why. Because they can predict the feeling of everything that's going to happen in their life. And their body's resigned to the familiar. It says, oh, another mundane day. But remember when you were a kid and you were going on a field trip? What happened then? You were up and dressed and ready to go before your parents were up. You know why? Because you knew something unexpected was going to happen. That's how we should live our lives. Waking up with the understanding to expect the unexpected, and something unusual should happen in our life as a result of our efforts. And it's just those beginning moments where it begins to happen that we begin to prove to ourselves how powerful we really are. Take time in the morning and the evening and the rest of the day. Check in with yourself at certain times to see if you're still in that energy.
What sort of things do you look for in people or in processes that make the workforce better?
Sure. Well, I think the massive thing that can be done is to make sure your incentive structure is such that innovation is rewarded and lack of innovation is punished. There's got to be a carrot and a stick. So if somebody is innovating and making good progress, then they should be promoted sooner. And if somebody is completely failing to innovate, not every role requires innovation, but if they're in a role where innovation should be happening and it's not happening, then they should either not be promoted or exited. And let me tell you, you'll get promoted, you'll get innovation real fast.